So in this one, the first thing I remember is I was flying through my HEB, which is a grocery store around here. And actually, it looked more like the HEB in my hometown. But I was lucid. I don't remember why I became lucid, in the context of the dream at least, but I was lucid because I had done wake back to bed and done all my things to get lucid. So I was flying and I landed, and there was a person who told me about a problem they were having. I don't remember the specifics, but I just gave them some advice, and they seemed to like it, and they appreciated it. And I walked towards the cash registers or checkout aisles, and another person asked me for advice, and again, don't remember the details, but just gave them some advice. And then I was looking at the shelves, and I was thinking about buying a Star Wars figurine and a phone charger. I guess sometimes it's kind of just fun to play along with the dream, but I don't remember if it was that I just wanted to play along with the dream, or if I was just having one of those cases of slightly dreamlike mindset despite being lucid. Now I'm going to look at my notes. This is from a long time ago, actually. Wait. Oh man, it's from like 3 days ago. Feels like a long time ago. I guess I've had a kind of eventful past 3 days. So I decided not to purchase those items. And then I was gonna just fly onto a nearby shelf. And as I was, in the air on my way to the top of the shelf, I started hearing like a robotic voice saying, what did he say actually? I think I wrote it down. Just said, don't do that. Repeatedly, I think he said that. And I realized he was talking to me, so I kind of just went back down. And I saw that it was he looked like a vending machine. It was a robot, for context. He was a vending machine looking robot, and he was extending some mechanical arms to like grab me down, in case I didn't listen, I guess. But when he saw that I got down on my own, he said, got the message? And I was like, yeah, guess it was a sassy vending machine. So I started flying again, but not onto the shelf. And I flew into kind of like a back room area where I think only employees go, but they weren't real, and I was. So I flew back there anyways. So I flew in there and then out again. And so now I was just back in the general area of the store, above the shelves and everything, kind of just doing loops and stuff. And someone on the intercom said something about breaking the rules of flying, the flying rules. And so I figured he could only be talking about me. So I just flew out of the HEB. I guess I feel pretty confident doing whatever I want until a dream character scolds me, and then I'm like, not worth the trouble. So now I'm out flying above the parking lot, and I wanted to land. And I tried to slow myself to a just gentle landing, but it didn't work. I ended up kind of skidding to a halt, and like I landed down, but then I kind of scraped the pavement and stuff. So now the pavement was all messed up. So it turned into one of those situations where I'm now in the third person watching myself. And now I'm in a car skidding across the parking lot trying to stop. Well, I was stopping, just making a mess while doing it. And so I wanted to get back into the first person. So the other me that I was watching got out of the car. I was no longer in control of him. Now it was like he was a separate dude. And I wanted to get back in the first person and kind of like merge myself with him. So I tried closing my eyes and syncing up my steps with his steps, but that didn't work. He kind of just walked away. He walked back into the building. But now it was kind of like I was in the dream again, like I was in the environment again in first person, but now I was me, and that other me still existed. So now there was two of me, and thinking back on it, I could have just let him do his thing. But for some reason, I wanted there to be only one. I don't know what show that is a reference to, but I wanted there to be only one, I guess. So as he was pretty much entering the building, I came up behind him and started choking him. Again, I'm not a violent person in real life, but he didn't seem bothered or hurt, nor was he having trouble breathing. So I was kind of like, oh yeah, he's a lucid dreamer too, so he also can't be hurt. And then he turned around very menacingly, which makes sense because someone was trying to kill him, namely me. And he looked a lot like me, but not exactly. He had the same height and build and skin color and same haircut. But his face looked different, and he wasn't wearing glasses. And he just looked menacing. Of course, I'm sure if someone tried to choke me out as I'm just minding my own business going into a store, I'm sure I would be angry, to say the least. Well, I would be scared, but he was angry. So yeah, now I want to get away from him because I'm scared. So I start flying away and he's chasing me. And he's like right on my tail. I guess it makes sense that he's just as fast as I am because we're the same dude. But yeah, I was just flying backwards, trying to get away. Ended up doing that flapping motion to try and gain some speed and woke up from there. So that was the first time me accidentally going into third person resulted in a separate me. His face looked like a different person, but I still, in the dream, I still understood him to just be me, or a copy of me. So I figured out what the problem was. In my last lucid dream log, I mentioned that I kept having a really hard time going back to sleep after wake back to bed, and just having trouble getting lucid in general. And I hypothesized that the problem was that I was taking too long to go back to sleep. And it hadn't been a problem at first. So I realized that at first, when I was doing wake back to bed, I wasn't turning on any of the lights, which ended up becoming a problem in itself. So I started having to turn on the lights. But the problem was that I started turning on just the full lights in my room. So I figured I'll just try having the lamp light on, which hopefully should be enough light to wake me up, but not wake me up so much that I take too long to fall back to sleep. Just wake me up enough to be lucid later on in the night. And it turned out to do the trick. I think that's pretty much the only significant note, the only new thing I'm doing or thing that I tweaked a little bit. Oh, actually, there's a few more things. It's actually been a while since I recorded the last video. I've actually tried a bunch of new stuff since then. So I started eating an orange during my wake back to bedtime. And I think it helps me focus enough to fall back to sleep. For one, I think it's just harder to focus on an empty stomach. But in this case, whenever I try to fall back to sleep, I try to fall back to sleep on my back, because that helps with lucid dreaming. But when I'm laying on my back, since it's the middle of the night, it's been a while since I've eaten, so the gravity kind of pushing down on my stomach makes me feel even more hungry, and I think that makes it harder to focus. So having an orange before going back to bed has helped a lot with that. I also started focusing on my breath as I'm going back to sleep, which helps because it used to be that I would focus on sounds that I hear, but there's not really a lot of sounds at 2 a.m. Also, I experimented with the pillow or lack thereof question. I was thinking that maybe when I go back to sleep without a pillow, it makes me look more likely to be lucid, which definitely seems like that is the case. So I'm doing that now. And I think that's pretty much all for now. All right, so thanks for watching, and see you next time.